Welcome to the Unscripted Journey podcast. I'm your host, Cynthia Schoen. Around here, we believe in living life on purpose, not by permission. Each week, we'll talk real growth, fresh starts, and bold steps to create a life that's true to you. So grab your coffee, get comfy, and let's take this journey together. Welcome back to the Unscripted Journey. My friends, for a while I've been hinting that there has been a lot going on in my life, and there has. I mean, it's been a whirlwind, really, since probably October. It's been a whirlwind in our lives. I've had a lot going on myself. Tim has had a lot going on with himself. And just to be honest, I'm going to tell you straight up, in November, after I received a job offer, we packed up our life in a matter of 3 weeks and moved to Tennessee. We moved here smack in the middle of the holidays. It was right before Thanksgiving. There was so much happening. But as you know, if you've been listening to my podcast, that the last few years have been years of transition in my life. In 2023, I've talked about how I had a real hard time health-wise. I was not doing well. I was in the hospital. And I knew that I had to change. I had to stop taking care of others and prioritizing everyone else and neglecting myself. I had to flip that script if I wanted to have a good, healthy life. And I just had to do it. That's when, if you've been listening, you know that's when I started my unscripted journey. And it's been years of working on that. It's not something that happened overnight. It's something that has taken time. And both Tim and I, for a while, were feeling like it was time for a change. We closed a church plant that we started and loved. It didn't seem right to a lot of people, but we knew that God was moving us into a new season of our lives, and we wanted to really move and start fresh. And we really had prayed about moving to Tennessee. We had been praying for many years. Our kids went to school here in Nashville, and we kind of fell in love with the area. I mean, we didn't even really explore it too much, but we knew that there was something here in this state. And at the time, my company was based out of Nashville. So I felt that it was going to be a perfect transition from where I am if something opened up and transfer to a job, and it would make things easier. I would have income. But, you know, as we know, what we plan and what God has planned are two different things. That did not happen. I waited for a year for something to open up there, and nothing ever did. So I began to applying to other jobs in the Nashville area. I mean, I was hitting LinkedIn every single day. I had a few interviews that seemed promising, but nothing happened. Nothing came from it. So we were just like, okay, we thought we were supposed to move. We want to move. We want a change. We want to start fresh, but nothing was really moving. The needle was not moving. So I thought. And, you know, there really is something to be said about being in a time of transition. It's like where you were, where you are, and where you're going. Those three things are like kind of happening. And I started to think about it, and I kind of compare it to being in an airport. You're kind of between flights, right? You have to catch a connector. You've already left where you were, what's familiar, home, what was comfortable, your bed, your home, all of it. You're waiting for your layover. Sometimes in this huge airport, you might seem a little lost. You might feel a little lost. You're not yet where you're going. You're kind of still waiting. And there's no purpose in unpacking everything in your life because you can't go back either. It's a waiting room for your next chapter. That's what, you know, a time of transition is. And then finally, you get to where you're supposed to be. Notice I said supposed to versus want to, because sometimes those two things are just not aligned because God needs us in a place where He can nurture us, prepare us for what's next. And that's what transition is. It's a time of preparation. Transition is super, super hard. For a year, we waited for what was next. There was impatience on my part, because you all know that I am a planner. I kind of need to know. I need to be able to figure it out and plan. And there was worry and sometimes doubt too, because I'm like, well, we felt that we were supposed to transition, but then here we are. Nothing is happening. So after 1 year, a little bit over a year of pressing in and praying and talking, God led us to Knoxville, which is where we recently moved. Let me be honest, it's not where I thought I was going to end up. I fell in love with Nashville. That's where I wanted to be. It was always that area, always. But we believed that God had a different plan for us, and here we are. And we are excited about this new journey, and we are in a transition again, asking God on what our assignment is here. See, I think you have to look at your life in terms of what am I here for? What value am I supposed to add? It's for us, it just wasn't a move. It's an assignment. And we want to know who are we here to impact? Who are we here to come alongside with and empower and encourage? Don't look at your time of transition as just a time of just waiting. It is a time of preparation. Don't see it as a bad thing. Don't lose hope. I encourage you to pray. I encourage you to audit your life and see if something is highlighted to you that will help you understand this transition period that you're in. Maybe it was a prayer you had a long time ago. Maybe you prayed and said, God, I want this or that, or God put a dream in your heart and you've always had it, and now things are starting to align and you're wondering why. You're waiting and waiting and waiting. I want you to keep pursuing those dreams and keep on being faithful and hopeful and not giving up on that transition period, because it could be hard. I've told you guys so many times, I am a person that needs to know it all. I am a person that I have to know, only because that's the way I'm wired. That's the way my brain works. So anytime we've been in a time of transition, we are just waiting and waiting. And for me, it's hard. It's hard because when you're in transition, there is no plan. The plan is just to wait and see what happens. I'm not saying you're not doing anything to prepare for it. You have to prepare for what's coming next, right? Whether maybe it's a transition of just, it's a time for you to just work, pay off your debt so that you have some freedom in your next season of life. We all have different seasons. We all have different times where things shift and change. Sometimes we're prepared for them and sometimes we're not. It is up to us to do our best to stay focused, to stay aligned, to read, to educate ourselves, to dream. Don't stop dreaming even in a time of transition, because it's not a time to lose hope. So this is kind of our update. This is where we've been. We've been moving. Tim's been launching a kid's book. Tim's been, he had to go back. There was so many things that were happening. I just could not really get on here and talk with you guys. But here I am again. Here we are. Guys, I am so excited for what is to come. And I hope you're excited about what's about to happen in your very own life. Be open to moving. Be open to transitioning into a new career. Be open into change altogether. This is what the unscripted journey is about, and this is what we're living for. All right, my friends, until next time. Thanks for listening to the Unscripted Journey podcast. Don't forget to check the show notes for any additional information or resources to help you on your journey. Until next time, live free, stay unscripted.